Boy, do I got a treat for you guys today. I got beef jerky going in the smoker in here. So I'm going to take you in here into my smoking room and show you my custom built, custom by Klein smoker. And I built this thing probably 15 years ago or so, and I've smoked a lot of meat in this thing. And it works good. My cousin ended up building one very similar to it because it works so good. And he liked the design, so he ran with it. So let's take a walk in here and see what I got going in the smoker here. So here is my smoker. It's an old refrigerator, and it's all porcelain inside. And years ago I had this thing sitting outside alongside my shed. And my brother was in town visiting from Pennsylvania, and he says to me, "Bro, you got the best smoker you could ever build sitting right here." And I'm like, "How come?" He's like, "Because this is an old metal porcelain lined refrigerator. These are the best smokers you can best refrigerator you could ever use for a smoker." I think within about a month I built one. And he was right. This thing works awesome. It holds the heat really well. When I first built it, I used an oven burner down in below. And it was kind of a crude setup, and it worked okay, but it was really tough to maintain the temperature. So I remodeled it and went with this new design here. And I actually have the stovetop panel sitting on top of the smoker here, and I can control the heat right here. And I have two stovetop burners down below right there. So you can see the one is kind of red and the other one is not. So that's how I can control my heat. And I usually have a digital thermometer on this thing, but that broke, didn't or quit working, so now I just have a regular meat thermometer. I have it stuck in the side right here. So right now it looks like I'm at about 120. And I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit. It's a little warmer than I want it to be, because all we're doing is beef jerky right now. So really all we're trying to do is dehydrate it. I'm not trying to cook it, just dehydrate it. And I also have this other gauge in right here. It's kind of my backup gauge. And so I just kind of cycle between the two to see if they're accurate. And I like to have gauges. I like to know exactly what the temperature is. And this is out of an old freezer. And works good. And no, I'm not sorry. This isn't out of a freezer. This is out of a pressure cooker deal out of a food plant. So, and then this is where I add my smoke at. It's an old stove from a fish house. This stove is probably from 60s, 70s maybe. I've always had it around here. I thought it was kind of neat. I found it at a garage sale, and I've always kind of hung on to it, figuring there'd be a use for it someday. And this is what I use it for. You can see it just kind of sits alongside the refrigerator. And I bent up this piece of 3-inch exhaust pipe to bring the smoke inside. And you can look in here. You can see right there where the pipe comes in. And look at the smoke just pouring in here. This thing can really smoke stuff good. I can smoke cheese in here because I can get this thing down to 50, 60 degrees. So it won't melt cheese. And I don't have to use the heating element then. Just the smoker itself will produce about 50 to 60 degrees of heat to be able to do cheese. And I've done a lot of cheese in here, string cheese, blocks of cheese, and it turns out really good. I do all my venison here, venison bacon, summer sausage, ring bologna, you name it. But this is what we got going today right here. Beef jerky. I used a tip round roast, and sliced it in my meat slicer. And you can see it's pretty thin. I mean, they're 1/8 inch, 1/8 to 3/16. And I marinated them overnight in a brine, and now I have them in here smoking away. Those 5 pounds of meat, that's about all I can fit in there when I'm doing jerky. I can do up to 40 pounds a summer the way it hangs. So then what I have in here, these are tubes. These are used in grills, and you fill them with wood pellets, and then you light them outside and get them to start smoldering. And I use 2 of them in here, so I get plenty of smoke going. And these things can give you about 5 hours of straight smoke. So you can see with the lid up, it just wants to come right out of the top. I close that, and it goes up that tube then. And it's got a little air damper on it too, to allow a little draft go through there. And I just vent it right out through my wall like this with a 6-inch stovepipe. And I even have a damper on there so I can adjust it. And right now I'm pretty much running it wide open to move the air through to help dehydrate that jerky. And you know, when I'm doing summer sausage or fish or anything, I usually have that about half turned to hold the smoke in there and to really hammer the smoke into the meat then. But this jerky's so thin it takes smoke easy. And like I said, I'm trying to get that moisture to come out of the meat, and by having that vent open, that helps that. So there's a little tour of my home-built smoker, and a few more hours, that jerky will be done, and we'll be enjoying that, and it'll be very good. Thanks for watching, guys.